Everyone. We will get started with today's Q&A. Our first question will be Ashna Shah with Bloomberg.
Hi, thank you for having me. My first question was, what are the total vehicle crossings for Port Authority tunnels and bridges since January 5th, when congestion pricing began, to today?
Well, our TB&T Tunnels and Bridges group compiles those figures, but they get double-checked in many different ways and released at the end of the month following the month. So it'll be, those numbers will be available near the end of the month.
Okay, and then a follow-up question. What is the Port Authority's revenue collection from crossings in January, and how does that compare to last January in 2024, if you're able to share?
Well, it's the same answer, because you need the vehicle volumes. Obviously, it needs to be broken down by vehicle type and then correlated with the tolls. So again, those numbers be available at the end of the month.
Okay, thank you.
The only thing I would add to that is that it's difficult when you look at month to month. I think you need a few months to kind of compare apples to apples. So when you go 2004, 24, and 25, having a January versus January, depending how much snow, how much rain, foot traffic, there's other variables. So I would just tell maybe it's a 4-month, 5-month, 6-month true comparison. But those numbers will be made available once they have been given to us and cross-examined and looked at twice.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth emphasizing the point the chairman just made, which is that the vehicle volumes are heavily influenced by the weather. And so if you're going to try to compare any period of time, you have to sort of correct for weather days and non-weather days. But in any event, even then, a month is just not really enough to make an adequate comparison.
Next question is Colleen Wilson with The Record. Colleen?
Hi, thanks so much. Just to follow up on this, it's obviously something that a lot of people are interested in and want more details on. Just given what you know about the early figures that you have, I know these are things everyone is following as far as the traffic and revenue volumes from in the post-congestion pricing world. Are there any plans being made to, or any concerns about revenue and in the context of using that for capital projects, for bonding, et cetera? Just, where is the Port Authority on planning for any potential decreased revenue?
Well, we're watching it very slowly. We're not making, at this point, predictions. Certainly has our attention, but there's really nothing more to say about it at this point.
Okay, thanks.
Next question is Larry Higgs with NJ Advanced Media.
Okay, thanks for taking my questions. The first one is kind of a follow-up of the questions that have been asked. You may or may not have seen the Finch Ratings article, basically taking a statistical look at Port Authority revenues and making the supposition that because the Holland Tunnel and the Lincoln Tunnel only comprise 8% of the Port Authority's revenue stream, that the Port Authority will be able to absorb any losses from its revenues. Can you speak to that? Did you look at that, or did you talk to Finch, and how on or off target are they?
Well, we read the credit ratings agencies' reports religiously, but I think we've just said that at this point we need the data. It's still coming in. It's very early, so there's really nothing more to say at this point, Larry.
And Larry, I just think you need to take like a 6-month, 12-month snapshot, true year to year, with similar conditions before you can extrapolate whether increase, decrease, whether it's going to be an impact on capital or not. I think having literally a 1-month snapshot in 2025, not taking into any other factors, weather or otherwise, I think it's just premature. And let's hold until we get the data, and let's have it over a few months before we can make a true comparison and see what the rollout is to, or any impacts to capitals after that.
Thanks. And I have a follow-up question about PATH. Obviously, it's been said that it's going to be on time. Can you speak to some of the other questions that were raised about ADA features being included in that, or is that something that will be done in another project? And of course, the request for additional service. Are you willing to take up some of the advocates on their offer to ride path during the off hours and see what people are experiencing?
Why don't we bring Jim Heitman, our Chief Operating Officer, up? But what I would say to you, Larry, is uh, we're certainly, we've heard people about the service issues. We're looking at them, but there's really nothing to announce at this point. But Jim, anything further?
And Jim, while you're talking about literally the $1 billion in spend that we've targeted over the last few years. Talk about what the future is in terms of trains, cargo, platforms, and a little more detail.
Sure. So what I would say is, we're out in the community listening and trying to follow all of the feedback that we're getting. Staff is following that. We're having actual meetings, a lot of public sessions, and that will continue. In terms of this Path Forward program, it's kind of lost, but we actually have increased service a couple of times last year. But what we have going on right now is this intense Path Forward construction work, which is the cause for a lot of the longer headways that people are complaining about. And we understand it. We're trying to get through this as quick as we can to get that original schedule back on track and more reliable as a result of the investments. This $430 million. The complexity of this, what we call the interlocking, was just a really complex mechanical, electrical device that is so important. And to have a brand new one and put that kind of reliability is just a really great example of what the outcome of this is going to be. We have future plans for a lot of work in tunnels E and F. That's similar to the work that we did in the downtown tunnels, where we're looking to completely enhance the track reliability and a lot of the electrical infrastructure that goes through that. We've opened a lot of improved stations at Harrison, at Grove Street. So, it's a challenge, but we're systematically trying to take on our biggest opportunities and planning for the future. So all of those service requests will be seriously considered, and they're being studied right now.
Yeah, let me just add to that, Larry, that, look, we got over 2,000 emails and reach out from the commuters, and we love it. We really love the interaction. We love the feedback. And come March, when we come back and talk about being on time and on budget with the Hoboken closure, I think you're going to hear from our PATH folks, from Chlorella and others, to talk about all those things that we've done. We've added 40% capacity, or will add 40% capacity from Newark to World Trade. You're going to talk about all the infrastructure improvements that have been done. It's huge. It's massive. And I know there's calls for additional services, and we will take all those requests under advisement and see where we can go. But there has been a sea change of service, infrastructure, investment in PATH over the last 7 years. And you'll see and hear more of it in a comprehensive manner in March. Tom?
Your help with this one, we have a little issue with our mic, but Shree Taylor with Bloomberg, if she can hear.
Hi. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi there. My first question is, I know that the U.S. Department of Transportation is helping fund the bus terminal project with a $1.9 billion loan. Are there any worries about what could happen to that funding if there were to be another attempt to pause federal aid? Or do you have any insight or general thoughts about it, or a plan B?
Well, at the present time, the loan was just closed 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and we're proceeding. We haven't heard anything to the contrary, but so we're not speculating. We're going about our business.
Okay, thanks. And my second question would just be, has Port Authority been thinking about making any revisions to any DEI or RTO policies or mandates? And if so, what's being floated?
We've devoted a lot of time to expanding the pool of individuals that we do business with. It's very important for us to have as many partners working with us. We do almost all of our work with others from the outside. That's what our programs are aimed at, and that's essentially what we're focused on, which is increasing opportunities and obtaining as many contractors and others from the community as we can.
Tom?
Our final question, Stephen Nesson with WNYC.
Hi there. Thanks for taking the time, and apologies. I know you addressed some of the congestion pricing stuff at the top, and I didn't catch all of it. And it sounds like you don't want to comment on what you've seen so far, but can you at least confirm what the MTA has reported in their statistics? For example, they say traffic speeds at the Holland Tunnel, for example, are nearly 50% faster than they were before congestion pricing. Is that, are those statistics something you can also confirm?
No, I don't think we can confirm it because I'm not aware of it, frankly. Like I said, we're just trying to, we're going to get the numbers from the January and then February, then March. I have not seen those finalized numbers in terms of actual revenue or trips coming in and out, both by the crossings and the bridges. So in terms of what the MTA says, I don't really know what they said. And once we have our numbers, we will have them sent out to the public. And I think if you didn't hear it, I would just caution those folks to be careful, go month over month, January over January. I would think over a 3, 4, 5 month period from 2024 to 2025 is probably more a true indicator as to the numbers. They're either going to be increased, revenues increased, ridership increased or decreased, but just going simply with 1 month without taking any other, any other factors into consideration, weather or anything else, would be a little short-sighted.
So you think the MTA should not have gone ahead and released all the sort of numbers that they have to date?
No, they can do whatever they want. They run their own policies and protocols, but you're asking us to comment as to whether we can stand behind what they said. I'm not aware of what they said, but I can stand behind what the Port Authority does and what the Port Authority releases.
Thank you.
That concludes the Q&A. Thank you very much, everyone.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.